Okay, we're back. Options, premium reading, and interpretation. Holy boring, right? There's a million different ways to talk about options, right? I'm just going to talk about one, and I'm a novice at it. And I give all the credit to Sam and Smarter Trade and the Smarter Trading Service for what I even know about this, which I'm extremely grateful for because it has changed my trading career. So another disclaimer, I'm a novice. Doctors go to school for 8 to 16 years. Us traders, we think we can get rich after a few months. So I've only been doing this for like 9 months trading, day trading, and I've only learned this, really understood it for about 5 months. So I'm just putting out there what I know. It does appear to me, I don't know if Sam has some sort of system, AI or something like that that's feeding him his trades and that kind of thing. But I think it's more of an art form. I think his style is more of an intuitive trader versus being more mechanical. I think you have to practice. He's got 30 years of practice, whereas you're going to be listening to me. I've only got 5. And another thing too is, you mechanical traders, the analytical types might struggle with, the idea of reading the options chain, reading premiums, kind of getting an interpretation of what, an indication of what might happen in the future, which is all we really care about when we're trading. So I'm going to go through a couple of examples of how I read, options premium, which kind of kept me out of some trades, and then how it kind of got me into some trades. And you can see up here, I'm going to talk about shop here. I want to go to, first off, I want to show you how I set up my options watch list. I use Fidelity, Active Trader. I use maybe 5 or 6 different platforms for different things. I like Thinkorswim's charting. I like, Fidelity Active Trader. I use this Vantage Point software, which is just like an artificial intelligence, intermarket correlation software. So this will kind of give me an idea of, really good trend following system, and it gives me some good levels to follow. So I kind of use those intermixed to generate levels, generate support, resistance. But this is how I set up my watch list here for options, and I think Fidelity has just the best way to do it. So with shop, let's go to shop. Shop was Friday, and what I was watching on shop, and this is where the 1,000 calls that I had on my watch list here. I just had this set up right here, and I was just looking at shop, and I was looking at this breakout here, and I wanted to see as it broke through this 989, which happened to be a pretty important number for me as I was watching. I saw it break through. It spiked through this box here, and as it was spiking, I saw the 1,000 calls for Friday. I know it's Friday, and there's decay, but I saw those only go from like maybe $2 to 250. I think maybe it spiked to 3, but it quickly came back down to 250. So I'm watching these thousands going, look, I want to buy these because I think if it busts through 1,000, if it busts through here, I thought it had a chance to go in at least to 1010 and maybe even up here into this little area here. It's got a couple pivots to get through. It's got 1010 to get through. I thought maybe it was coming up into here, which, obviously, if you buy an option for 250, $3, and it can go to 15, you're happy, right? So, but as I'm watching this on Friday, I'm going, this option's not moving, and it's looking more and more like a pin to me. Like they're not going to let this go. Whoever the market makers, right, or they're not going to let this get above 1,000, just because that option was not gaining any value. Nobody was buying it. Nobody was bidding it up. The market makers weren't pricing it up. They weren't scared. So it was just an option writer's option. I don't want to buy an option that the option sellers have the advantage, where the theta is just really kicking in. So that kept me out of that trade. I didn't buy shop, and I don't buy shop a lot because it's kind of a cuck trade like this too. But I was like, okay, I'll take a chance since the premiums will be low on Friday. I'll take a shot maybe for 250, $2, see if I can catch like, $10 or something like that. And this was my trade here. I was just hoping for this bust through, get the thousands for like 253 bucks and maybe ride them 8, 9, $10. But since since I saw those premiums only barely but moving, I wasn't in on that. I didn't like that action. So contrast that with Roku here. Um, I saw Roku playing out since Wednesday. I've been kind of watching it, and this day here, Wednesday. Wednesday was a day when let's look at SPY. SPY had this crazy move here where it just sold off. The world is ending. The Roku, it did kind of sell off here at the end of the day, but I had a feeling, as far as its trend, how things have been happening with Roku, how it sold off because of the vaccine. That was just kind of an overreaction, in my opinion. None of that really matters. Your opinion doesn't really matter. What I was really watching was the options. I was looking at the options that day as this was happening, and they had the 270s, I think, 270. These 270s went from like, I had them on my list here, and these 270s and even the 280s were priced at like 30 cents, 50 cents, which is just insane for 2 days left in the week. You really think this is gonna spike. So somebody knew something. Somebody knew it was about the pop. And just going into the end of the day, I just go, oh man, I really just want to load the boat here for just even the 245s or the 250s, just because the 280s and 270s are being priced right now. They got premium right now. Those should be 1 cent. Those should be 5 cents. With that in mind, I prepped the next day that I was going to come in here on any dip and just load. And load for me is not a lot, but for me, I was going to load the boat on Roku, and I did. I loaded the boat and had some really good success here, as you can see. And then even here on Friday, I knew that if there's a day two, a continuation into this move here, which was already really strong relative to the market, I knew 262, and you can see I've got my own levels set up here. I knew 262, if that broke, that it had a chance to run some more. And you can see that as it broke through this box here and then through 262, it did spike right to the first pivot, but couldn't really get through. The market's not really being very conducive to to day two continuations nowadays are very rare, it seems like. And in day threes, I just don't even mess around. But it's Friday, it's freaking lotto day, it's the market maker pin day, right? So, but I'm watching these options. This is how I looked at Roku and how I was just like, even all night. When I woke up, I was like, man, I cannot wait to buy Roku just because I saw those premiums where they were. So I'll set up the watch list. I have premiums usually. I set out, I watch options. So you can see I have the snaps up here right now. I'll watch options that are further out than what I want to buy, just because I know that if those options they're building premium in those options. If I see them real jumpy, if Roku jumps $1 or $2 and I see those premiums really start getting filled with premium volatility, then I know this thing's about to move, right? There's a move being priced in through the options chain, and so I'm getting ready. I'm gonna buy something that's obviously closer to the money because I don't really want to buy something too far out, but I use the far out options as an indicator to tell me if I have a better opportunity of making money with these closer to the money options. So that's one trade. That's how I got into Roku. And then Snap, just a beast in this market. Friday even this thing, talk about day twos and day threes. This thing just nice, even day three there by the dip. Even in crappy general overall market, I heard that there was some call flow going on here with Snap. So I don't know what's going on. Is there news coming? I don't know, but I know people are loading the boat on calls for 2 weeks out. So I'm going to look at the options chain. I'm going to set it up here and I'm going to watch it. I was already in some coming into Friday. I sold those for profit, and then I used some of that profit to get into some more uh, calls for 2 weeks out. Mainly because the premiums, even on any dip, even on this dip right here. So this is a 5-minute chart that I watch. Even on this dip, these premiums didn't hardly even budge. They just held their value really well. Usually on a dip like this, it's real if they start sucking those premiums out. If you start seeing those 45s, you start seeing the 50s just drop if they get cut in half. If they get cut in half, you're basically just might as well just expect zero because this thing's not coming back. But you can see they're holding the value, and I'm going, oh, this thing's going to come right back up, and boom, it does. I don't know what my target is here. I mean, I'm just kind of setting up every 250 all the way up. How long does it take to get there if it drops on Monday and these premiums get sucked out? I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna cut it as a loss. I don't. It's not a big deal. But if they hold up, if this thing drops and they hold up on the value, if this is the one I'm in, that the December 4th's 50s I'm in at like 0.6. I'm in at like 0.6. If these things just drop to like 0.5 on a dip, then I'm just going to hold them because that's not really that big of a deal. I got plenty of time. These things can still fly. So that's the idea there. And then so I know that these can triple. I've done it 3 or 4 times with Snap now. These things can easily triple. Will I let it go to 3x? I don't know. We'll see if the market's really holding up for me. But if will I cut them at 2x? Will I cut them at 50%? I don't know. I'm okay as long as I'm taking a profit on a trade. I don't really care if it goes 10x. That was me, 6 or 7 months ago, where I wanted to hit a home run on every trade. Now I'm happy if I don't lose money. That's basically it. So, and it's been working out because I'm closing a lot more trades, and I'm going to show you again. I showed this last time, but I'm going to show it again. Closing a lot more trades in the green. I did have one nice little home run here with Zoom where I hit a 4x, but most of my trades, I mean, I had a double here. I'm not hitting a lot of home runs here. I'm hitting some decent trades and I'm losing. I even lost on some Roku here. So, and this ended up being a profitable trade. I don't even know which is this one right here. This ended up working out. I could have closed this profitable. I could have closed this one profitable. I mean, 247s obviously would have worked out, but the 247s would have been really nice if I would have held them. But anyways, so that's just a quick video on reading premiums. The next thing too, I might go over this on the next video, is kind of the setup on how to kind of find plays. I like to say nowadays, I don't really find plays. I'm really just kind of listening to the market in a way. It's kind of cringe to say that, I guess. I'm just waiting for the market to kind of tell me, where to put the money, So I'm listening for themes and news. So obviously a theme would be, we got the vaccine, we got stay at home versus, work from home versus, value versus growth versus tech, and then you've got news that are driving kind of those themes for the market. So I'm kind of listening for all that, kind of seeing where people are rotating, seeing where the money's going, seeing if things are getting really weak. I'm looking at relative strength for these stocks, and then I'm watching these premiums on the stocks too, because I want to know, are people really committing their money and leveraging into a position because either they know something or because they're feeling real confident with a direction. And then set up your levels. It doesn't I'm going to talk about that maybe in the next video, how to kind of set up levels. There's some levels that I think are algo driven, and I'll kind of show that. We see these levels appear over and over and over again. And if you listen to Sam's free Twitter, you'll see him post, hey, if Zoom hits 426, it's going to be 452, or if Tesla gets 452, it's 482. He'll say stuff like that all the time. That's because I think these levels, and I'll go over some more examples of that, are algo driven. I think the computers basically just trigger, you know, buys and sells at certain levels. And so I'll go over some of that. And then I'll kind of touch on this next video, just kind of, you know, how to set up your day if you are going to be trading options directionally and you want to have trades that are, you know, more short term, I guess. So anyways, comment, like, subscribe, leave some questions if you do have any, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.